Here.
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 Here. Here.
Here.
Here. Here. Here.
Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have minutes from the regular meeting on May 11, special meeting on May 11 and May 18.
I move for approval of the regular meeting minutes from May 11th and the special meeting minutes of May 11th and May 18th as written.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second then to approve the regular meeting minutes, May 11, and special meetings, May 11 and May 18. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those not, same sign. All right, thank you for all of those that are in attendance. You probably got a little wet on the way in, but we need the rain, so we'll just deal with it. Those of you that are at home listening, watching as well, thank you for being with us this evening. Nobody signed up for public comment, and we'll move on to agenda. Look for a motion for adoption.
So move.
Second.
Motion and a second then for adoption of the agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Not same sign. All right. 8.1, reports by admin, board engagement plan.
Good evening. So at this point in time, I'd just like to review the draft of the board engagement plan for 2026-2027. This plan, in large part, follows similar plans and paths as the board has worked through in the past. So you see on the plan, it identifies board business meetings, which will typically be held on the second Monday. Committee meetings planned for next year to meet in the months of September, October, January, April, May, and June. Of course, committee is meeting this June as well. As far as workshops are concerned, currently there are 4 different board workshops identified. First one coming up here in July, which would cover safety and security as well as student discipline. August, strategic planning board workshop, so that would align with collaborative workshop sessions that we've had in the past with principals. November, looking at facilities and budget planning. And February 15th, mid-year performance update. There are a couple exceptions that are laid out in this draft plan. September board business meeting, you notice some adjusted dates there, allows for folks to participate and support the annual Beaver Dam Scholarship Foundation outing. October, the dates are moved around a little bit. That allows for us to make sure we have all the accurate updated numbers from the state, so the board has an opportunity to go ahead and approve a budget for the year, the final budget. The board will get a draft budget in July, as per usual as well. There's other reference to committee participation. You see a note there regarding project tours and opportunities to do that once the site is safe. School of the month schedule is also included in this. First school of the month will be Prairie View this coming year. That'll start in October. December, there is no identified school of the month, as well as May. And has a little bit of a breakdown, reference to an update on parent and staff advisory meetings and how those are going to align more tightly with school of the month. That'll include location being held at those designations as well, and a variety of other items identified. As per usual as well, Mary Postimo will keep a board engagement calendar that the board will have access to, and as other items become available that the board might consider participating in more formally, they can go ahead and sign up. And for events that we know that we're going to have a quorum or more potentially there, we will post the meeting when possible. That's the plan for the 26-27 year moving forward. Any questions regarding that?
So we want a motion to kind of approve it or accept it?
Yeah, I think just accepting the plan, and then obviously at the will of the board or the designation of the president, things could move, like a meeting, other meetings could be added, for example, or shifted.
One clarity item and then one comment. So let's see, where am I? So for the restructuring of kind of what goes on for School of the Month, you got coffee chats, obviously, what happened in the morning. Those, the parent and staff advisory slash PTO involvement would be after school, right?
Those would be after school, and all that's completely voluntary.
Yeah, so for those, I think that's important to note for some of the board members that maybe can't always get to the morning School of the Month stuff. The reformatting of that will allow some opportunities to be involved on the backside of the day as well. And then for board workshops, if any of the board members have an idea of something they want or would like to have a deeper dive in, please let us know. We will structure those workshops around, really, 2 of those are really annual, but outside of that, we're really looking for some board comments on where we might want to spend more time and dig deeper into some stuff. So if you got any ideas, please let Mark or myself know. And then if there aren't any questions, I'll look for a motion to approve the plan as presented.
Also move.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second then to approve the school engagement plan as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those not, same sign. All right.
Thank you.
8.2, Wellness Committee update.
Hello.
Access is forbidden.
All right, so tonight I'm going to give you an update on what the Wellness Committee has been working on over the last 3 years. So board policy requires us to come back to you every 3 years to let you know where we're at with compliance with our goals and what we're working on. So I'd like to start by giving a shout out to our Wellness Committee members. You can see some of them up there have tag at the end of their name. So those people are chairing certain subsections of our committee. Got somebody here in the audience. So Katie, thanks for coming. I bet you this is why you're here. Katie oversaw our Beaver Bites cookbook, where staff were able to contribute their recipes, and we had over 150 recipes in this book, and it went over very well. We sold lots of those books. Then we were able to take that money and donate it to a local cause, which is really exciting for us. Julie Grennan oversaw a book club in which staff members were able to get together at different places, including Rosalie Books and other places around our community, and be able to spend that time together and working through different book studies. That went really well, so they're looking to do a couple more of those next year. Quinn in HR, he is in charge of our wellness fair. So for those of you that aren't sure what that is, we bring in different representatives from throughout the community on financial wellness, health wellness. We bring in our Delta Dental partner, our Quartz partners. They're all here so that people can ask questions during our back to school in-service. We have a lot of time in the morning when we're doing breakfast and socialization, so they can go around and get stamps on their passport and go talk to people and get entered in for a prize. Sarah McClanathan was in charge of doing hikes for this year. So they did a few hikes. They did a homecoming hike out at the Horicon Marsh, and I believe 1 or 2 other ones. So we're trying to get more involvement there. We usually have about, 6 to 10 people at each one of those. And then Tara Ocon works with Art on the Town for our art nights, where staff are going out to Art on the Town. A couple times we've had them here, but they work on different art projects and stuff together. Caitlin runs the show, so she runs all of our wellness meetings and makes sure that all the minutes and everything are up to date, and is really helpful with that piece. And then Kristen Chitko was in charge of yoga this year and last year, so we've got a local partner that we work with that also substitutes in the district, and she does our yoga, so those are pretty well attended. I have a lot of slides, so I promise I won't talk that long on each one of them. But these were our goals for the last 3 years. We've made some great strides in certain areas, and there's other ones that we're going to continue to move forward through the next 3 years. So you'll see the financial health focus was something that came out pretty strong for our staff. They were looking for different ways to connect with WRS and get some of those questions answered. Our first 2 years of this 3-year plan, we were able to bring those people in and do presentations. Those presentations weren't well attended, but they were watched. So we did video them and push them out, and people watched those sessions, which was great. This past year, due to turnover with our partner there, we didn't have anybody to come in. So next year, we're going to get them back in here and have that opportunity for our staff again. There's a great focus on stress reduction and mindfulness, which is why we incorporated the wellness initiatives with yoga and the book nights. Art club, all of those things were what staff have indicated on their surveys of ways that they can connect with their colleagues outside of the work environment and be able to spend that time together. So one thing that we want to continue doing, or actually do a little bit more of, is we haven't really celebrated what we're working on through social media. So we're going to work on that a little bit more, pushing that forward. Much of what we've done, since it's in-house, has been all through email and signing out through Google Forms. So we're going to push through that a little bit more moving forward. All right, so this year we did a lot, and I know I talked through a lot of this on the slide where we're acknowledging our committee members. So all of those things are continuing. A couple things I didn't mention are the flu shot clinic that we have for our staff, where we partner with a local pharmacy or hospital, and they provide optional flu shots for our staff. And then all of the other things that you see on there. We also did a YMCA night where families could come in at the YMCA and interact together, so that was really neat. Here's some of the flyers that our team put together to send out to advertise what we're working on. So being that the marketing piece was something that we felt we needed to get out there a little bit more, we spent a little bit more time on this rather than just, hey, who's interested in yoga on Tuesday? They were able to put together some marketing materials. And then here is a list of our meetings. So if anybody here is interested in joining the Wellness Committee, we only meet quarterly, so it's very little investment of your time, but there's a lot of great things that come out of the wellness team. So we're always looking for additional members to help carry that load and to help support the plans that we have. All right. Here are the numbers for attendance for who participated in each one. We also sent out a survey saying what would you like to continue, and got some feedback on that. So there's a really good smattering here. Almost everybody that completed the survey wanted to continue with the art nights, and then it was probably about 50-50 on a lot of the other things. Now, these weren't necessarily people who were already participating in these events, so it's anybody who completed the survey. So it might be someone who didn't go to yoga, so they're like, that's not really for me, so that's why we have about a 50%, yes, I want to continue doing that. One of the new items on here that I haven't told Ryan Cashman yet, but we were approved to be able to host a pickleball tournament. Our insurance company is okay with that, so working through our legal team to make sure that we've got a waiver in place so that we can host that safely and successfully. Obviously, it would be completely optional at the pickleball courts here in town, but be really fun to do some retirees versus current employees type of a situation. So we're going to make some plans moving forward for that next year. I asked all of our schools, because our wellness plan is not just for our staff, it's for what we're doing for our community members and our students as well. So each one of our principals has provided a long list of all the things that they're doing within each of their buildings for supporting the wellness policy and providing that opportunity for our students, staff, and community members. And so we're going to highlight the schools here. The high school, they're doing winter walking on the track in the indoor field house. They have Dodge County Special Olympics, which is hosted in the field house. The outdoor track and tennis courts are open for public use. Taher special chefs come in and teach and serve a highlighted dish to staff and students, which you've all been able to participate in at board nights, so that's been fun. Staff access to the fitness center and basketball courts before school. Oops, that just skipped. The middle school also is doing some great things. They had Fine Arts Night, Community Service Day, Career Fair, monthly assemblies honoring the Students of the Month, house competition winners. they invite the families and community members to come in and attend. And I hear from families out in the community how wonderful that is for them to be able to have that connection, especially at the middle school level when kids are starting to not want parents there as much. But getting invited directly from the school is super important to keep those relationships strong. Here's some pictures of, this is their career day. And then we'll move to Washington. Fall and spring yard cleanup. They raked yards for their neighbors at Lakeview Park and Lakeview Park. They did a Soul Sisters running club. They did paint night with families and info and supporting students at home with math and reading. And here's some more pictures of they're on break in that first picture, I think. Jefferson did a wellness week. They did a PTO-sponsored fun run. They had elementary 4th and 5th grade track meet, which all of our elementary schools participate in. Wellness week in February to offer staff opportunities for mindfulness and counseling lessons, and just focus their whole week on that. So it's really kind of a neat thing to do. And then Lincoln, they wanted to get in on the fun with the posters too, so they've got back to school picnic for students and families. They did a trunk or treat. They did groovin' with grown-ups, which was a dance party, so hopefully there's some pictures in here for that. Prairie View had PE home bags they sent home with the students each week, and that included materials that they could work on at home for Phi-Ed, which is really fun. Sometimes I think families are looking for that way to engage their students that are so technology-based now. What are different things that we can do to get our kids moving at home? They had Soul Sisters Running Club. They did a Panther Prowl. And they always are really good, especially at the elementary level, taking these wonderful photos at the end and seeing all of the great things that they're doing with matching shirts all the time. So I think Prairie View is very well known for their matching shirts. Okay, so there were 275 staff members enrolled in our health insurance for this past school year, and 218 of them qualified for the wellness discount. So for those of you that aren't aware, we have always done a biometric screening and a health risk assessment so that our district will pay for 85% of the premium cost for health insurance. Anyone who chooses to not participate in those two components, it's still paid for at 82%. So there's a difference of 3%. So these are the rates, so this number is continuing to trend up, and I think that that's because we're communicating it a lot more and making it a requirement and doing a lot of, well, not really a requirement, but if you're going to do this, you have to do this. So for next year, we just had our open enrollment period for next school year. We've changed the biometric screening and health risk assessment wellness component to be, you have to get your physical. So if you get your physical, have a doctor sign off, that's good to go. People were a little hesitant about the biometric screening and health risk assessment. What are you doing with that information? We never got the information, but still people were pretty nervous about, some people were pretty nervous about it. So what that allowed us to do is our insurance company could then tell us you have a high need in this area, like stress reduction or maybe smoking cessation or obesity, and we were able to then tailor sessions that way. It got a little bit more challenging over recent years to continue to have that, so we felt if they're seeing their provider and having those conversations with their provider, that's much more lucrative than us having to find which path, which area of focus we're going to go on. So everyone can have their own individualized plan as long as they're seeing their provider.
Oops.
So Wellness Policy 8510, we reviewed it in 2023, and that's what we're doing here again today. I am required to provide you that update every 3 years. There's a second component to it. So you will see posted on our district website within the next 6 to 8 months here, there is a survey that we need to do where we are doing a self-assessment, and that self-assessment is graded on a scale of 1 to 3. So the last time we did it was January 2024. So by this upcoming January, you'll see that posted to the website and probably provided in one of the board updates that I'll send to you on Fridays. So our Taher provider, our food service provider, is in charge of running that show, and then she brings it to the wellness team, and we all talk about it, and we do a self-assessment that way. Then it has to be loaded onto DPI and our district website. So that'll be part 2. Any questions or comments?
Lots happening.
There's lots happening, yes. And Marge, you're great at being in all these meetings, so if you have anything you'd like to add, please do.
Yeah, I've been, I don't think I've missed a meeting, but it's a great group. Wish we could get a couple gentlemen into the committee. Would be kind of nice to have their input on some stuff, but the ladies do a great job anyway.
When's typically the first meeting of the year?
Yeah, we do have our first meeting scheduled for August. I believe it's early August, but I want to say around the 5th. We're actually going to meet off-site at Great Harvest this year. And those meetings are always done in 30 to 45 minutes if anybody's considering participating.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. 8.3, we have a donation.
All right. So the district had been approached by Meta seeking out some ideas for a prospective donation through their ChangeX grant program. They were provided with some ideas that range from math curriculum support to tech-related resources and robotics. Our team followed up with the grant application and secured a donation of $50,000. Specifically, this donation will be used to enhance technology access for the expansion of STEM-based programming. It will also help to ensure students and families will have equitable access to high-leverage learning tools. Additionally, a portion of this donation will be used to support an investment in robotics equipment, materials, and professional development support to expand hands-on experiential learning opportunities that build skills in engineering, coding, collaboration, and innovation. So because this donation exceeds a value of $1,000 in accordance with Board Policy 7230, we need your approval. And it is recommended that the board approve the receipt of this donation, and in doing so, authorize the administration to allocate this money as designated.
Questions, comments on the donation? Otherwise, look for a motion for acceptance.
This is a really generous gift. It's nice that if Meta's going to be part of our community, that they make gifts that benefit our students. And I think this will be something that our district will really benefit from. And so with that in mind, I'll make a motion that we approve this donation of $50,000 to be used as stated for tech-related resources and robotics program, and allow the administration to approve the spend of that money.
Second.
All right, motion and a second then to approve the donation is presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those not, same sign. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, that moves us on to reports by the Board of Education, starting with 9.1. So ops and teaching and learning did not meet, but I believe, Marge, you want to just tackle the referendum project update?
Yeah, I just want to mention that the referendum projects paper is always out. Mary does a good job of making sure that's there for, and I don't know if John or Joanne have anything to add on what's been happening, or?
Yeah.
Just steel's been going up, concrete's getting poured, it's moving right along. It's good to see. You can really see the noticeable differences on the highway when you go once a week or so. You can really see the difference and stuff.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh, did you have a question? No?
Go ahead.
Just a couple other updates on the referendum projects. So like John said, at the middle school, the structural steel is ongoing. Grading and backfilling continue. Underground plumbing and electrical is ongoing. The masonry walls in the gym, the auditorium, and the mechanical room are the ones that are rising probably the most quickly vertical right now. The steel stud work is set to begin this month, and there are approximately 13 to 15 community members that are currently working on that job site right now. So that's good to see. At Washington, the new staff workroom has been completed. All the library and classroom supplies and furniture have been moved into the gym and the commons area. And just today, the asbestos removal began in the boiler room and the tunnels, and all the other major remodeling began taking place today. That includes ceilings, lockers, light fixtures, cabinetry, and some flooring throughout the whole building. Playground excavation is also set to begin this week. For the district projects, specifically Lincoln and Prairie View, temporary fencing has been installed. You may have seen that over the weekend. The private fiber, which the district owns at Prairie View, was being rerouted today unless the rain delayed that until tomorrow. Excavation did commence today. I saw that at Prairie View. They had started digging. And geotesting for the soil at Prairie View is also set to begin this week. For the financing portion of the referendum, the guaranteed max price for the district-wide improvements came in at our budgetary estimates, and local spending by contractors for just the middle school job site has exceeded $400,000 as of April 30th, and that is climbing rapidly. A lot of local contractors, local supplies are being bought in the area, and so as that building continues to go vertical, there'll be more money spent locally.
Just a couple other quick things, thank you, Ryan, to add. So as folks recall with the middle school site, the campus was essentially broken up into two components relative to the DNR approval authorization process. So all that had been taken care of for the phase one. That's why the building's been getting built over the last several months. The remaining aspects of the campus have all been completed relative to their approvals to the DNR, which is great because that allows us to continue forward with all the other site-related improvements, particularly on the north side. So that went through and we got all that confirmation. And then just a note, a reminder, for community members and adults, if you see kids in and around any playground-like equipment at Prairie View or Lincoln, please help us make sure that they're not using those sites for the playgrounds at this time, just because there's active construction going on. So we do fence it. It is all appropriately signed and labeled, but kids sometimes find creative ways to gain access to areas, and we want everybody to be as safe as possible. So help all of us keep our kids safe and out of those areas that are designated for construction.
Can I just ask a clarifying question with what you just said? Like, I saw today that they took out a lot of, you didn't mention Washington in that, but I saw today they took out a lot of the playground equipment. Are the grass fields area, I know a lot of people play soccer there, that's still okay?
It might be. If it's not, it's clearly fenced. So in other words, if anywhere has some fencing that says "do not enter,"
Do not enter.
kids beyond that point, help us support them not being there.
Thank you.
If that makes sense. I do know we try to keep some designated areas available
Okay.
where we can. But we like a little buffer. Sometimes they're like, oh, it's not happening right here. But if you're going by a fence that says "do not enter" to get to it, that's a problem.
Any other comments, questions regarding referendum update? All right, so just a couple of other comments on ops and teaching and learning. You guys will notice through reorg, ops and teaching and learning will stay the same with the exception of Maria being replaced by Emily. On T&L, we got committee meetings coming up here then on June 22nd, starting with teaching and learning at 5:30 and ops to follow. That'll move us down to continuous improvement strategic plan workshop review. I'm going to provide a summary and then I'll open it up for individual board members to make any other additional comments. So on May 18th, the board and administration met to talk about continuous improvement specific to the strategic plan. Board of Education administration team spent focused time reviewing the most updated version of our strategic plan. The most updated version is the result of both stakeholder feedback and careful review of our key performance indicators within the 4 key accountability areas, which are learning and academics, finance, operations and facilities, safe and healthy schools, and engagement and connectedness. During the workshop, board members and administration worked together in focus groups to discuss strengths and identify opportunities for improvement and refine priorities. The feedback generated from these conversations have already been incorporated into the updates to the plan and will continue to guide our work moving forward. This strategic plan will serve as an important grounding resource for our district's work, helping ensure that our efforts remain connected, intentional, and aligned. Administration will work closely with their teams to align initiatives with the plan and will regularly bring progress updates and performance data back to the board. An example of that is moving into the future here, looking forward to our annual workshop in August when the principals will share out their success plans, school success plans, and highlight how those plans directly connect within the building level goals and key accountability areas related to our strategic plan. Also on behalf of the board, I'd like to sincerely thank the staff members, students, family, and community members. I know we had the workshop. I know there's been a lot of work by administrators, but also in all those feedback sessions we had, definitely students, family, and community stakeholders. Your feedback is appreciated. Your input's been very important in helping shape and strengthen our strategic initiatives that'll guide and provide accountability moving forward. So that's a summary of that workshop. Open it up for any other board members to make any other comments or ask any questions if they'd like.
So in the beginning, I had some questions because this is a really different way than we've done this in the past. But I had the opportunity to attend one of the staff days up here where the staff had the opportunity to come in and work through some stations and offer input and feedback. Also, I went to one of the community ones that they had at the high school, and there were a ton of community members involved there that night, and you could see the amount of feedback that they'd been able to collect by coming out to the high school on a night where the auditorium and the field house were booked and just being there to talk to people and gain input. And then again through the workshop, having the opportunity to sit at a table. So that night at the workshop, we were divided in, I believe it was 6 teams, and each team had a board member, an administrator, and a couple of other administrators at the table, central office and regular building administrators. And it was just such a great opportunity as we talked through whatever our talking point that we were given, like to hear from different people than we usually hear from, and getting to know them better and getting to hear what their input was based on their experiences, I thought was really valuable as a board member, that we had that chance to interact on all those levels. So I was really impressed with the strategic plan. They've always been good. This was a different way to come to the end, and I know that the work that went into this is going to create measures that are going to be meaningful to the district. And I was really impressed with the document then, and we've refined it a little more. The staff has, and I think it's going to be just a really amazing document. So.
Yeah, I do. I agree too. I like the format, how it was done. It was something different. It just shows we can get off the normal path and do something different. And I think I agree with you. We got a large input base and
There was a
came
ton
out
of,
with some really good
ton of work for
documents.
administration
Yeah.
to take all of that feedback and put it into something to work with. So
Yeah.
that was really well done.
Anything else? I think Joanne's right. I think, at the start of this process, there was a little bit of hesitancy. Nobody likes change. But I think through the process, the board's learned. And I believe as it's come together and as we are working on our final approach to the strategic plan, I think it really shows that, the amount of time that we allowed feedback from all the stakeholders, right, really helped the district fine tune really what our strategic priority should be. And I'm encouraged to wait and see where that takes us. So, if there are no other questions, I would entertain at this time a motion to adopt the most updated version of our strategic plan.
Also move.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second then to adopt the most updated version of our strategic plan. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those not, same sign.
And if I may, thank you, but just as a point of reference, we will get that posted, updated, finalized, and posted to the website this week. Our administrative team is already going to be diving into some of the work directly related to this Wednesday afternoon of this week, and that'll carry forward some of the planning that we'll be engaging in throughout the summer. And then if any board member is ever curious, that hallway that runs east-west up here towards the south side of the building has all the original kind of handwritten feedback, post-its, dots, all those things from those different engagement sessions, and it still does. I got asked the other day when that's coming down, and not anytime soon, because it's actually a really good talking point. We have people in, just meeting with an administrator that's joining our team next year, and spent some time in the hallway looking at specific points of feedback on different topics that are focus areas. So still really nice. It was all captured in the work that we did, but it's always nice to look at that. Makes it feel more real and connected when you're looking at someone's handwriting or where they put their dot. So that'll stay up at least through the summer, if you're ever curious. But thank you for your engagement, especially during the workshop and the sessions that we had.
All right. Board of Education Self-Evaluation Report. So annually, the board evaluates ourselves just to make sure that we are staying on point, making sure that we are committed to governance, and making sure that we're just operating effectively as a board. So this year, I'm going to just do a real high-level summary of the board evaluation. So the board evaluation included 4 categories, and then had 6 main categories, and then had subcategories below that. So the 4 main categories that we looked at was governance and superintendent relations, community relations, staff relations, business operations, board leadership, and strategic plan. So again, this is really related to how the board is engaged and how the board is doing in these 6 areas, and then in those other subcategories that were underneath that. And generally speaking, throughout all 6 categories, a total of 17 areas altogether. The board did not identify any areas of minimal. So basically, this starts out like minimal, let's just say down here, minimal, basic, proficient, and advanced. No areas within minimal. There were a couple identified areas in basic that offers the board an opportunity to get a little better at. But a majority of all the responses were proficient in advanced or advanced in all the categories. The specific 6 categories and 17 subcomponents in this PDF I will send out to the board. That will give you a really decent summary of your peers as to how they responded on the evaluation. We also asked the board for some specific areas of strength and specific areas of potential improvement. And these were really related and followed really the overall reaching questions that were in those 17 subcategories. But in general, there were comments that the board stayed on policy. It was very common that we saw responses that the board is definitely fixated on what is best for students, high deal of professionalism, along with letting individual board members voice their opinions with respect. And then board engagement. There's a high level of engagement opportunities, and there's a pretty decent level of engagement. Now, the interesting part about this is it also showed up on the improvement side. So we do a good job of involving ourselves, but I think where the opportunity for improvement might come in is that more engagement from more board members instead of just the same board members in certain areas of engagement. That came through as an area for improvement, along with better use of promotion within the community. So really taking the things that we do well, and really as we're out in the community, making sure we're doing our best to get out there and share those positive things with our community. So that's kind of summary of the evaluation, and like I said, the specific 6 main categories and 17 subcategories. That PDF I will send out to you probably tomorrow. Any questions or comments related to the self-evaluation report?
Thanks for doing it.
All right. With that, we'll move on to board engagement and recognitions. Opportunity for the board to share out any engagement or recognitions they feel like they'd like to share. Open it up to the board.
I guess I can start. I helped at graduation.
That's it?
Yep.
That's all he has to say.
Yep.
I was also at graduation. Graduation was seamless. The kids were awesome. I really appreciate all the staff and administration that went into planning that. There was not a hiccup anywhere, and I think everybody really enjoyed themselves. It was great to see family and kids celebrating the success of their education. So appreciate that.
I went to senior night at the high school field house, and while I don't have any kids in high school, and I almost don't know a lot of the kids, it was very cool to see the broad range of kids receiving awards this year. And again, the community members that step up to provide a lot of those scholarships and awards were pretty amazing. Also, it's just a great night to see how excited the kids are and how close they all come their senior year. So congratulating each other and celebrating together was pretty awesome.
It seems like it was a while ago, but I did go to the first grade writing celebration at Jefferson, which was a lot of fun. It was right after the last board meeting. Sat with a group of kids. They all read their stories about certain aspects of space. So they were, I love it. They're like, "Who are you?" I got that at the coffee and chat too, so I just think that's funny. And then I'm like, "Well, who are you?" So they're cute. And then I went to the Scholarship Foundation dinner and enjoyed that. Those kids are really grateful, for the opportunity to get money towards their education. And then I also went to graduation. That's kind of the culmination of everything. I really enjoy that time, seeing all those kids.
I was at graduation as well. I would agree with the other comments. It was a really meaningful celebration of the students. I was at the retirement ceremony for the staff, which was it's always lighthearted, but also very honoring. So I thought that was neat. And then I got a little tour of I don't know if this is engagement or not, but I got a tour of the new middle school campus from Mark. And wow, it's impressive. So I encourage you to take him up on his offer to give you a tour. A lot going on there, and it's an impressive site. So.
I had an opportunity I saw a varsity baseball game before that season ended. Congrats to them on a great season. And then I also went to the retirement celebration, and it's like Mary said, it was a very nice ceremony. They, from what I've read, we just lost about over 100 years of educational experience, and just a big shout out to those folks for their dedication to our district and our students. Well deserved, but yeah. And I'd like also just as a personal thank you to our entire administration, our certified staff, everybody that makes our district go, based upon this past year, it's quite the undertaking, and, as we go throughout the year, there's ups, there's downs, but, the work that you folks do is incredible. So just a personal thank you, and to keep up the good work, because I really appreciate it, and I know the community appreciates it as well, so that's it.
Any other comments?
I got to go to Entrepreneur Day at Prairie View for the third graders, and I got a lot of retail therapy. They gave us fake money to spend on the students' presentations, and I got to fish for game fish and won a prize for catching a really nice sturgeon, and some other lovely inventions and marketing and advertising experience. So that was sweet to be a part of. Also a Fable Theater that was hosted at Prairie View, and I was really happy to be included with the graduation as well. I don't know that I helped all that much, but it was very special to witness. I'm always very impressed by how many students I don't know and haven't witnessed or met, or their families, until you're at a Beaver Dam graduation. And there's a lot of kids walking through. And it was also very touching to see one of the students, his paraprofessional aide has been with him all through his this secondary education, and I believe she retired along with him at his graduation this year. So it was just very touching to see her finish up and enjoy seeing him in the spotlight. So thank you for the opportunity.
Mark, anything else?
Before Mark talks,
Oh.
I just wanted to jump in. One thing I saw in the slides, and it reminded me, I was not there, but I had the opportunity to sponsor some of the kids that ran for all of the different things that we had. And one of them, I think it was Soul Sisters, one of those things where they had an opportunity to run with a family member. One of my employees, she had an opportunity to run with her big brother that's a high school track runner, and did her 5K with him. So that was super cool, and to see how excited the family was about that. And my daughter that did her 5K at Washington, 8.5 months pregnant. Good job. So, but the staff that works with those kids and people that donate their time to teach kids about setting a goal and reaching to attain it through running was pretty cool. And I've been hearing about it a lot this year, and it's a really cool program that people are donating their time to.
You guys did a phenomenal job covering so much. I'm not going to repeat things. I'll just say, just want to commend our entire team, all of our schools on a really good school year. There's going to be plenty to celebrate, and there's going to be plenty that we need to work on improving. But overall, it was a very productive and positive school year. And then also something that's unique, you only get to do it, I think, every 250 years, but celebrate the 250th celebration for our nation. And our schools all had an obligation to engage in different activities to do that, and they all knocked it out of the park and did what they needed to do, and appropriately documented that and submitted it to the Department of Public Instruction as well. But they all did a great job of making sure that we took time to celebrate it, because it's very special. Good year. Appreciate everybody's engagement. And Mr. Casper's not here, but he's the only high school principal in the history of Beaver Dam that's batted 1,000 for graduation ceremonies. He had one, and he knocked it out of the park with his team. So he's good to go.
All right. Yeah, so obviously, as you heard, there was an abundance of opportunity, especially towards the end of the school year. And I just want to, again, thank and appreciate the other board members for your continued engagement. It's awesome to be able to go around these tables and see all the things that you guys get involved with to share your support for our district, so appreciate it.
I move the board recess into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute 19.82 paren 1 and 19.85 paren 1 paren E for the purpose of collective bargaining under the Municipal Employment Relations Act, Wisconsin statute 111.70, deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investment of bargaining, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specific public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. specifically to discuss negotiations with the BDEA for a 2026-27 collective bargaining agreement and pursuant to Wisconsin statute 19.85, paren 1, paren C, considering employment promotion, compensation, performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility, specifically to discuss specific employees and employee groups.
I'll
That was a
second
mouthful.
that. I won't repeat it, but I'll second it.
All right, motion and a second to go into closed session. Roll call, please.
Here, yes.
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 Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
we are back in open session. We'll move on to 12.1, resignations.
There are several resignations for your consideration tonight.
I move the board approve the resignations as presented.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the resignations as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those not, same sign. All right, leaves of absence.
There are 2 leaves of absence for your consideration tonight.
I move the board approve the leaves of absence as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the leaves of absence as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Not, same sign. And appointments.
And the most exciting part here, there's lots of appointments for you to consider. First one is Bridget Carter, 4-year-old kindergarten teacher at Jefferson Elementary School. Holly Daly, math teacher at the middle school. Jessica Daugherty, English language arts teacher at the high school. Lexi Devine, special education teacher at Prairie View. Lucas Ellis, 63% physical education teacher at Jefferson Elementary. Sandra Kohler, an LTE for first semester for special education at the middle school. Spencer Skivington, English language arts teacher at the middle school. Dominic Tangretti, associate principal at the high school. Kaylee Kleinhans, 5th grade teacher at Jefferson Elementary.
I move the board approve the appointments as presented.
Second.
All right, with a motion and a second then to approve the appointments. Roll call vote.
Yes.
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 Yes?
Yes.
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 All right, thank you. All right, 12.4, 2627, collective bargaining agreement with BDEA.
I make a motion for the board to impose the district's final offer for the total base wage increase for certified staff members for the 2026-2027 contract year pursuant to Wisconsin Statute 111.70, resulting in a 2.63% total base wage increase distributed as a flat rate of $1,362 to each level of the salary structure.
Second.
Thank you. All right, we have a motion and a second then for the collective bargaining agreement with BDEA. Roll call vote, please.
Yes.
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 Yes?
Yes.
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 All right, thank you. 12.5, 2026-27 compensation for certified staff.
Administration is requesting full authorization for the investment above the previous approved increases in our certified staff. These expenses are built into our handbook and reflected in our current salary system that the board already has in place for the 2026-2027 school year. These investments include level movement at a total cost of $216,568, master's, NBC, and doctorate stipends at a total cost of $594,000, longevity stipends at a total cost of $165,750, and other applicable costs at a total cost of $7,022 for a total cost of $983,340.
I make a motion we approve as presented.
Second.
All right, motion and a second then to approve 26-27 compensation for certified staff is presented. Roll call vote again, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
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 All right, 12.6, 26-27 compensation for support staff.
I am requesting compensation increases for all of our support staff. 2.63 applied to the base level within each one of the employment categories for a flat amount applied to each level within each employment category. The total cost would be $167,955.
So move.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second then to approve the 26-27 compensation for support staff as presented. Roll call vote again. Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
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 All right, thank you. We have 12.7, 2026-2027 compensation for administrators.
I make a motion, we increase the administrator's compensation for qualified administrators by 2.5% for the 2026-27 school year to be distributed in a manner determined by the superintendent and reported to the board.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second then for 26-27 compensation for administrators. Roll call vote again.
Yes?
Yes.
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 Yes. All right, 12.8, board policy update.
All right, in your packets, you have reference to board policy update information. This would be considered a first reading. Just want to call your attention to the fact that this policy update, which is a little bit out of cadence, is a special update associated with Act 89, which makes certain that we're sharpening our professional boundaries across all adults that would be working with students. This is something that school districts throughout the state of Wisconsin are responding to and making sure that they've appropriately documented language, accountability, policies, and practice throughout their district. So this is our step to do that, to meet the deadline before next school year is in place. So there's different reference. There's 8 policy revisions, and then there's 1 bylaw revision, which would be associated more with the board's actions and interactions. And the spirit of this has a lot to do with just making sure we've got really professional communication, that we're using the right tools, that we're engaging the right people, and that everything is open, upfront, and very positively reflecting our mission and vision of our school district.
Will any of those changes require changes in the handbooks?
So there might be some subtle references that would change, but since the policy itself wouldn't change, that would imply that if, once a policy is acted on, that policy that may have been referenced would then, include the updated
changes.
language to that. The one part that I think we'll just need to be really overt about will have to do with just some of the professional development with volunteer staff that we have come in, particularly coaching, advisors, things like that, just to make sure that everybody's following the right process and protocols and don't put themselves or anybody else in a position that wouldn't align with the policy updates.
Okay.
So again, that's first reading. If you have any questions related to that, let Mark know, as that'll come to our attention next month.
Yep, July I'll be requesting approval, so thank you.
Moves us on to 13.1, payment of claims.
I move for the payment of claims in the amount of $6,606,402.29.
Second.
Motion and a second then for payment of claims. Roll call vote.
Yes.
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 All right, entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All those not? Nobody ever says anything.
I want to.